Abdullah was watching all of this near the Kaaba, and suddenly he looked up at the sky. From the direction of the sea, flocks of birds were coming. In the verse it says, birds in flocks, meaning flocks of birds, waves of birds, birds gathered from everywhere. Some scholars have said this is the name of a type of bird, but the strong view is this. It describes the bird's characteristic of being in flocks, one after another, gathered from all directions. What kind of birds these were is not known exactly. In some narrations, they're described as birds resembling bats. But what's important is this. Each bird had one stone in its beak and two in its talons. And these were not ordinary stones. In the verse it says, stones of baked clay, or hard clay stones. The birds came over the army, and they began raining down the stones. The effect of these tiny stones was incredible. Whoever a stone touched, their body would be pierced through. Some narrations describe it like this. Where the stone hit, wounds like smallpox would appear. Flesh would fall off. The body would be torn apart. In the historical work of Ibn Hisham, a narration from Ikrimah states, where the stone struck, sores would emerge. In fact, some historians say, smallpox and measles diseases were seen in Arab lands for the first time that year. The soldiers of the army began to flee in terror, but the birds were following them. The birds rained stones on every fleeing soldier. The vast majority of the army was destroyed there, around Mecca. The final state is described in the verse, and he made them like eaten straw. The word for eaten straw means grain residue eaten by insects and worms, scattered left and right by the wind. The 60,000-strong army became like eaten grain residue. Abraha himself fled severely wounded. He set out toward Yemen, but on the way, his limbs were being torn apart by the effect of the stone that fell on him. Writhing in agony, he reached Sana'a. And there, in 570 or 571, he died. And just as this event was happening, Abdulmuttalib received good news. His grandson had been born. That grandson who would be a mercy to all the worlds. His name, Muhammad. 50 to 55 days after the event of the elephant, on the 12th night of Rabi al-Awwal, on April 20th, 571, Prophet Muhammad was born. This is why Islamic scholars evaluate this event as irhas. Irhas, miracles that occur before prophets are sent, heralding their coming. Allah did not protect the Kaaba just for the Kaaba. He protected it for the prophet who would be born in that city 50 days later, who would cleanse the Kaaba of idols, who would bring guidance to humanity. The historian Muhammad Hamidullah says, this event was so important for the Arabs that they used it as the beginning of history for years. They would say, in the year of the elephant, before the year of the elephant, after the year of the elephant. Now let's examine the surah verse by verse.
أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِأَصْحَابِ الْفِيلِ.
Have you not seen how your Lord dealt with the companions of the elephant? The address in this verse is to Prophet Muhammad. But the expression, have you not seen, is noteworthy. Because Prophet Muhammad had not yet been born at that time, how could he see? Scholars say, here seeing means knowing and remembering. Because this event was so famous that it was as certain as if it had been seen. It was a widely transmitted report. Thousands of people had witnessed it. Also, in the verse, not what he did, but how he did it, is emphasized. That is, Allah is not emphasizing that He destroyed the companions of the elephant, but how this destruction occurred. Tiny birds with tiny stones, bringing down a huge army. This is where Allah's power, majesty, knowledge, and art are seen. Your Lord is very special. This is an expression of specification. I am your Lord, not theirs. I performed these miracles to celebrate your coming as a prophet and to exalt you.
أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ.
Did He not make their plan into misguidance? The word for plan means scheme, trap, trick. As we mentioned before, according to Fakhr al-Din al-Razi, this word is very meaningful. Abraha's plan was not just to destroy the Kaaba, to capture Mecca, to destroy the Quraysh, to control the Arabs, to seize the trade routes. All these sinister plans ended in misguidance, going astray, being lost, coming to nothing. Allah always makes the schemes of the disbelievers come to nothing. In another verse, Allah says, "The disbelievers plotted, and Allah plotted, and Allah is the best of plotters." Surah Al-Imran 54.
وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ تَرْمِيهِم بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ.
And He sent against them birds in flocks, striking them with stones of baked clay. The word for birds means flying birds. Coming in indefinite form, without the definite article, indicates that these were previously little known, strange birds. We explained the meanings of in flocks earlier, coming one after another in great numbers of different types, gathered from everywhere. Striking them, they were hurling stones at them, raining them down. Stones of baked clay, stones made of baked clay, hard clay stones. The exact characteristics of these stones are not known, but their effects were tremendous. In one narration, each bird had 1 stone in its beak and 2 in its talons, 3 stones total. And each stone would destroy 1 soldier.
فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَّأْكُولٍ.
And He made them like eaten straw. The word for eaten straw in the last verse means grain straw, wheat chaff, crumbs eaten by moths, insects, and worms, scattered left and right by the wind. The 60,000-strong army became like this. Scholars describe it like this. The birds carried these stones in their mouths and feet and hurled them at Abraha's army. Many of the soldiers died from the effect of these stones. Abraha returned wounded to Sana'a and there lost his life. This event was so important for the Meccans that they called this year the Year of the Elephant and used it as the beginning of history. In this verse, Allah shows how great a calamity Abraha and his army were subjected to, and that they were ultimately destroyed. So what does Surah Al-Fil tell us? 1. The house of Allah is protected. The Kaaba is the house of Allah, and Allah protects His own house. How profound Abdulmuttalib's words were. The Kaaba has an owner, He protects it. Throughout history, there have been attacks on the Kaaba, but Allah protected it each time. 2. Power is not in numbers, but in Allah's permission, a 60,000-strong army, 13 war elephants, but facing them, tiny birds, small stones. Which one won? The birds, because Allah willed it so. Today, there is oppression in the world. There are wars. There are the oppressed. But let's not forget, Allah certainly punishes the oppressors. Maybe not immediately, but certainly. 3. Even animals obey Allah. The elephant Mahmud would not go to the Kaaba. Even an animal showed respect for the house of Allah. So what about us humans? How respectful are we of Allah's commands? 4. Allah protects His Prophet. This miracle was not just for the Kaaba. It was also good news for Prophet Muhammad, who would be born 50 days later. Allah protects His prophets. He opens their way. 5. Submission and trust. What a magnificent attitude Abdulmuttalib showed. I did what I could. I leave the rest to Allah. This is trust, making effort but leaving the result to Allah. Surah Al-Fil is only 5 verses, but it contains a giant story, tremendous messages, the destruction of an army, the herald of a prophet's coming, the clearest evidence of Allah's power. And this reminder to us, Allah protects His servants. He protects His house. He protects His prophet. The plans of oppressors come to nothing. Power and might belong only to Allah. The companions loved this surah very much, because this surah was the miracle of Prophet Muhammad's coming. Let us too, whenever we recite this surah, remember that magnificent day, that miracle. May Allah make us among those who receive the Prophet's intercession.